Here's John Grube from wildmantraining.com. I'm going to talk a little more about testosterone. In my actual take on it, and whether science is with me or not, I don't really care, because I just look at the past. 30, 40 years ago, men who smoked, drank beer, ate bologna and cheese sandwiches for work, for lunch, ate eggs and bacon for breakfast. Their testosterone and their strength was a lot higher than today's 20 and 30-year-olds. Why? Well, a lot of guys out there will say environmental. Well, number one is, we never drank out of plastic bottles, and you don't have to either, okay? If you're drinking out of a plastic bottle, that's your fucking fault. If you're carrying a bottle with you everywhere as to drink, I don't know, man. They told us that you got to drink a certain amount of water every day, but when I was a kid, we'd be out in the sun all day long, riding our bikes, playing sports, and sometimes we brought water. Other times we were looking for a garden hose, which, if you think baking in the sun for fucking years and turning it on and drinking the water out of it, is any less damaging than plastic water bottles, well, I don't know what to tell you. Number two, you don't have to microwave your food either. I rarely ever microwave food. Mostly it's fried or, in a frying pan or on the grill or in the stove, one or the other. But very little is it, and it's never in plastic. So there's two things I helped you with. You don't need to do those things. You don't need to store your food in plastic. Buy a Pyrex glass container, whatever. But the real reason I think we're low in testosterone is that our bodies are amazing. And our bodies know when it's going to be put to the fucking work, put to the test. Back in the day, manual laborers, people that worked with their bodies, had higher testosterone because they exercised in the job they did. It may not be actual exercise, but if you think about it, a time when men didn't go to the gym, compared to with all the technology and men that go to the gym now, testosterone was higher 30 or 40 years ago than today. So I like to think that it was because of the blue collar work. Your body's going to respond to what it needs. So if you're sitting in a desk all day with artificial light, your body does not need to produce testosterone. It does not. There is no reason for it to. You don't need strength. You're not in any danger. You're not doing anything. So for the 8 to 10, 12 hours you're sitting on your ass, your body is getting weaker. And I've been around both ends. Men that say they want to go to work so they can work with their mind and make all this money. Let me tell you something. The majority do not. They get a white-collar job and do not make as much money as a lot of blue-collar workers. Matter of fact, I don't know very many people that went to college that earn more than I make. Okay? And I'm fine with that, because my job still keeps me functional. My job still makes me feel like a man, especially in that environment when you have other men. Your hierarchy there. Okay? And in them conditions, you would think you would need higher levels of testosterone. Your body would have to produce this because you are in a situation with other men that anything could go down at any time. There was always fights, always some kind of competition, always some kind of sport, some kind of fist fight. Wrestle match happened all the time. Okay? And I believe that's why if you do keep your diet good and you stay away from the booze, stay off the video games, stay off your cell phone, stay off the social media, get out there and actually do something, I believe that a lot of these things will go away. But we live in a time where society wants us to be weak. They brainwash people into thinking by sitting on their ass all day is somehow more honorable than getting up every day and working with your body. Getting calluses on your hands and shit like that. I know that's a scary thing for a lot of people. And that's another thing. I've talked about this with women. Women want men who can kick ass. They just do. And I can tell you right now, if you find a woman, you're a fucking dork, let's just say, and you're making a ton of fucking money, I guarantee the woman that you find will be a fucking liberal. Because those women do not want men with high testosterone. They want men who have fucking money. They want men who they can get money from. Okay? This is not my theory. This is how life is. Okay? You find a woman who likes a man that hunts, fishes, goes out and gets shit done, builds things, stays in shape, ain't afraid of confrontation, will defend you, defend the woman, her, defend the family. They know that if something goes down, you're going to be there to step it up and fucking take care of it. Okay? Not saying you can't have money, obviously, and be a strong man. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is a lot of guys think that by earning all this money, yeah, you may be able to have a lot of sex with money because basically they want you for your fucking money. And that's fine if that's what you're all about. But see, men who were athletes, who were strong, who played sports, contact sports, not the bowling team, not the cross-country guys, not the band, football players, wrestlers, basketball players, baseball players, even soccer players, okay? They got women. They got them whenever they wanted them, okay? The only ones that weren't allowed, that didn't get the women, okay, were the band guys, the bowling team, cross-country runners. They had a date within their own little groups. Athletes, they had the higher level testosterone. They were out there playing contact sports, out there getting it done, man. Getting in altercations with other people, other men, whatever. But you get my point. So that's my one take on testosterone and why a lot of these guys can't get fucking women is because they've been lied to. Most of the guys that are out there pushing the bullshit out here today were men who couldn't get women. They were geeks in high school. They started a business. Now they're on TV telling everybody how they get laid. But it's not because of them being fucking physically better, and they may be, they worked out and all this and that, but you know what, they're still the same person, no matter how much they tell you when they sit in front of a computer that they're alphas, no matter how much they tell you that, and you can believe it. If they're helping you out and they're helping people, I would have never listened to guys like that back in the day. I just would not have. Them guys, just watching them and listening to them, I know they don't know, okay? I knew growing up. I knew as a teenager. I knew who was getting laid and who wasn't. Okay? And that's exactly how it was. And that's exactly how it is when you become an adult. Weak men have less options. Strong men have more options. It's just the way it is. Don't hate. It's been like that for fucking ever. Ever since mankind. Strong men get the women. Okay? If you cannot get them, or you're having a problem, it's because you're in the wrong area. You got the wrong job, or you're in the wrong environment. Because you think about the guys that go to college. They go to college to get a white-collar job so they can fucking go in competition with a woman to do the same job. I don't want a woman that I got to compete with for my job. If that's the case, I wouldn't think that was much of a job. Now, that's not saying anything. There's not women truck drivers or plumbers or welders, because there are now. But it's still dominated by men. And men are not losing their jobs in these types of environments. Men are not being fucking thrown out of their jobs because of diversity or gender. It's not happening. It's a fucking fraud. But when you want to go to college and get the jobs that you're only going to be competing against a woman for, that's kind of fucking weak, isn't it? Kind of fucking weak. And I see this all the fucking time in different environments that I'm in. And it just amazes me how people have not caught on yet. Later.